All right, Ross, grade it out. What'd you make of Shedeur's first career NFL start?
Yeah, I thought it was really positive. Really positive. Probably better than I thought it would be, going into it. I thought he'd be better than he was in the second half against the Ravens just because kind of got thrown in there and, hadn't gotten any of the reps with the ones. The game plan wasn't really designed for him. So I thought he'd be better.
It's not like his statistics lit the world on fire, but he more than passed the eye test in my mind, especially in terms of that pocket movement. Now, I don't really know why the Raiders didn't blitz him more. That would have been the first thing I would have done. I would have thrown the kitchen sink at him like the Ravens did. For whatever reason, the Raiders decided not to do that. But I was thoroughly impressed with Shedeur at times getting the ball out of his hands quickly, at times the subtle pocket movement, stepping up in the pocket and delivering the ball, and even at times buying time to the right. The pass to Bond as he gets blasted was just incredible. And then even the play to Judy. I mean, that was not a rookie play. He's buying time. I thought he was going to throw underneath to Njoku. It might have been Fannin too. He waited.
In the often unforgiving theater of the National Football League, where first impressions are etched in stone and rookie quarterbacks are frequently fed to the wolves, a new and compelling story is unfolding. One that challenges conventional wisdom and exposes a perplexing organizational mystery. The central figure is, of course, Shadur Sanders, the polarizing rookie whose every move is dissected under a blinding spotlight. But the narrator who has irrevocably shifted the narrative is a seasoned veteran of the gridiron and the broadcast booth, CBS analyst Ross Tucker.
And being the number one guy. He said several things that I thought were really impressive talking with him. He said he really felt like he was getting back to normal, being the starting quarterback. He was not used to being a backup, and he wants all the pressure on him. And I said, I'm reading all these reports, Shedeur, that you're cramming for a test. It sounds like you're cramming. He's like, I don't have a choice. This is my opportunity. I have a help.
Need Kevin to come out here and do the same thing, keep the same energy that he been having with Dylan Gabriel. Just like when Dylan was out here and it didn't look so great and you was trotting out there in your post game and saying, hey, that's my starting quarterback next week. You need to go out there and you need to tell the media, like, without any hesitation, Shadur Sanders is my starting quarterback next week against the San Francisco 49ers.
That's it.
Anything outside of that, man, you BSing us, you BSing your team, everybody else. Don't play the games, right?
Yeah.
Don't play the mind games with the opponent, none of that, because you ain't do that with Dylan Gabriel. Come out here after this man just did what he did and let everybody know.
Tucker, who called Shadur Sanders' first career NFL start for a national audience, has since delivered a post-game analysis that resonates less like a standard recap and more like a profound revelation. His detailed breakdown has sent ripples through the league, forcing a reevaluation of not just the rookie quarterback, but of the Cleveland Browns' entire handling of their most tantalizing talent. Tucker began with a candid admission of his own miscalibrated expectations. Yeah, I thought it was really positive, probably better than I thought it would be, he stated, setting a tone of genuine surprise. He contextualized this by recalling Sanders' rough relief appearance against the Baltimore Ravens, a scenario he described as a near impossible situation for any player. Sanders had been thrown in there, Tucker explained, a lamb to the slaughter with 0 first-team practice repetitions and a game plan designed for another quarterback entirely. It was a setup designed for failure. Then came the bombshell, the observation that forms the core of this burgeoning mystery. Tucker focused on the most criticized aspect of Sanders' college game at Colorado, his happy feet, a panicked tendency to bail out of the back of the pocket at the first sign of pressure.
Didn't think, Jonathan, I didn't think he would improve that quickly in terms of not bailing out of the back of the pocket. I mean, he did that all the time at Colorado, and it felt like in 1 week the Browns fixed that. Now, maybe that was just a 1 week thing. I will say, I don't know if I said this during the broadcast or not, maybe once, I'm a little surprised the Raiders didn't bring more pressure, didn't heat them up.
A habit that often derailed plays before they had a chance to develop. I didn't think he would improve that quickly, Tucker confessed, his tone still tinged with disbelief. In terms of not bailing out of the back of the pocket, it felt like in 1 week the Browns fixed that. Let that statement hang in the air for a moment. In 1 week, this single data point, offered by an impartial and experienced observer, ignites a firestorm of questions aimed directly at the office of head coach Kevin Stefanski. If the Browns coaching staff possessed the diagnostic clarity and pedagogical skill to identify and correct a deeply ingrained mechanical and mental flaw in a mere 7 days, what does that say about the preceding 6 months? Why was Shadur Sanders consigned to the shadows of the depth chart, running the scout team behind not one but 3 other quarterbacks, if the staff's developmental prowess was so potent? The math, as they say, does not math. Tucker, perhaps unintentionally, held up a mirror to a baffling organizational contradiction. His praise, however, was not limited to this one fixed flaw. Tucker painted a picture of a quarterback who displayed a stunningly diverse skill set in his debut. He marveled at the combination of traits. At times, Sanders exhibited a lightning-quick trigger, getting the ball out of his hands to neutralize the pass rush. At other times, he demonstrated the subtle, sacred art of pocket movement, not frantic scrambling, but calm, progressive steps up into the protected space his offensive line provided. Tucker revealed he had spoken with Browns' veteran lineman Joel Bitonio, who confirmed the entire unit had hammered this very point home with the rookie, promising, "If you step up, we will protect you." And they did, delivering what Tucker assessed was their best pass protection performance of the entire season, a testament to their belief in the young quarterback behind them. The plays themselves became the evidence for Tucker's case. He highlighted 2 in particular. The first was a touchdown pass to Jerry Jeudy. Tucker described how a typical rookie, feeling the pressure, would have forced the ball to his first read in the flat. But Sanders, with a veteran's poise, stayed composed. He kept letting the play out, allowing Jeudy to uncover deep for a score. The second was the now iconic 52-yard laser to Isaiah Bond, a throw delivered with perfect trajectory and velocity, as Sanders was violently blasted by a Raiders defender. This was not just a display of arm talent. It was a display of guts and focus, a play that made stars like Myles Garrett on the sideline stare in awe. The analysis then took a damning turn for the previous starter, Dylan Gabriel. Tucker stated plainly, "Those were 2 plays that I didn't really see Dylan Gabriel making." This was no longer just about Sanders' promise. It was a direct indictment of the 6-game experiment with Gabriel, who had posted a 1-5 record and statistically ranked as the worst qualified quarterback in the league during his tenure. Beyond the physical attributes, Tucker was perhaps most impressed by the mind of the young quarterback. In a private conversation, Tucker noted the immense pressure Sanders was under, joking that he seemed to be cramming for a test. Sanders' response was telling of his character and his circumstances. "I don't have a choice. This is my opportunity." There were no excuses, no complaints about his lack of preparation time. He understood the magnitude of the moment, telling Tucker he was not used to being a backup, and that he wanted all the pressure on him. Tucker came away with a healthy respect for the young man's maturity, and his clear-eyed understanding that this single start was a pivotal moment, quite frankly, for like the rest of his life. Looking forward, Tucker laid out a pragmatic roadmap for Sanders' future. He outlined 3 potential outcomes for the season's final 6 games. Sanders plays so brilliantly that the job is unquestionably his. He plays well enough to enter a competition next offseason. Or he falters, convincing the team to seek his replacement. But Tucker then offered a crucial piece of strategic logic. The more games he wins, the less chance the Browns would have to draft his replacement. Victory, therefore, is not just a statistic, it is his greatest shield. Every win pushes the Browns further down the draft order, away from the elite quarterback prospects, making the case for Sanders by default. He also wisely tempered expectations, noting that he's going to have a bad game at some point. The true test, Tucker argued, won't be perfection, but continued significant improvement on a week-to-week basis. If the Browns see that trajectory, they could get really excited about what he could look like with a full off-season, as the unquestioned number 1. And so, we are left with the central, unresolved enigma. Ross Tucker's expert testimony has provided overwhelming evidence of 2 conflicting truths. First, that Shadur Sanders possesses the tangible talent, mental fortitude, and rapid learning capacity to be a successful NFL starting quarterback. And second, that the Cleveland Browns coaching staff possesses the specific ability to cultivate that talent with remarkable speed and efficiency. The haunting question that now echoes through the halls of the Browns facility And in the minds of every fan is this: if this marriage of talent and teaching is so fruitful, why did it take an act of desperation, an injury to a struggling veteran, for the relationship to finally begin? The world, and analysts like a captivated Ross Tucker, are now beyond excited to see what happens next in this unfolding drama, as the rookie, who was once an afterthought, now holds the future of the franchise in his hands.